Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're going to get into some controversial topics in regards to hair because y'all know I was in the cosmetology field for over 25 years, so I feel kind of qualified to speak on this topic, and that's what my channel is centered around. Just beauty, the beauty industry, the things that we talk about in beauty salons, and just the overall experience. And real quick, before we get into the subject matter, if you need help passing your cosmetology exam, you can pick up my cosmetology compilation at www.linktree/thechrissy shop. It is a study guide that's broken down into the simplest form so that you can remember, so that you can pass your test on the first try. I have helped so many people pass their cosmetology exam with that study guide, which I did not know that was going to happen actually, but I'm really impressed by it simply because they were literally my notes that I created, and I passed my cosmetology exam 10 years after I went to cosmetology school. So I put the study guide together in order to help people who were like me that graduated from school and didn't take their test right away as soon as they got done. I am also the author of the book, How Should I Get My Hair, which you can get under the same link. It is available on Amazon, and it's basically the answer to the number one question that I was always asked as a stylist. But now that we got that out the way, let's get into the subject of hair and weave extensions, whatever you want to call them, wigs, frontals, whatever. Is it a sign of self-hate? I see and hear about this topic all of the time, and I have a different perspective simply because I was in the industry for so long. So I'm going to tell y'all what I think about that. And I'm first going to start with the number one reason why I feel like Black women wear weave is for convenience. Okay? Because everybody who has worn a weave knows that it's way easier to maintain a weave than it is to maintain your natural hair. And this goes for braids and wigs as well. And everybody knows that when these things are done properly, it is actually a protective style for your natural hair. Because contrary to popular belief, a lot of the girls that wear weave, they actually do have hair underneath of it. And some of them have really long hair. So the idea that women wear weave because they lack in the length department, that's bull. I have grown so much hair from making custom wigs, doing sew-ins, doing braids, that it doesn't even make no sense. It's simply not true. And I was a stylist that was super into hair care. Like, hair care was first for me, whether you were wearing weaves or braids. Like, I didn't braid or weave up damaged hair. Even if I had to give you a free deep conditioner and I had to trim your ends for free before I braided it up, when you took that weave out or you took those braids out from me, your hair was going to look like something. The second thing I would say why women wear weaves is because of fashion and style. Sometimes you're going to wear things, or you might have a specific event and you want a certain look for that particular event. So you're going to get the hair that goes with the look. So number two for me would be fashion. I would say number three, or the third reason, would be because of a trend. Some girls like to try or experiment with whatever style is trending at the moment. Number four for me would be health issues. Some women, you might be having an experience with cancer. You might be having an experience with alopecia. You might be having an experience where your hair has thinned out, different medication, stress. And there's a lot of women that lose their hair to cancer, and they aren't sad about it because it's actually a sign of survival. So Don't assume that every woman that is actually bald or doesn't have hair is sad or depressed about it, because that's simply not true. And if you have ever had a shaved head before, you know how freeing that is, and you will never look at another woman and feel like she feels bad about herself, because you know how it feels not to have to worry about hair at all. And I wrote about this in my book. A shaved head is something that every woman should experience at some point, and it's something that you won't even get or understand until you do it. The next thing I would say is texturism. Not everybody can wear their curly hair or their natural state of their hair at work. They have to have some form of what is considered to be acceptable in the workplace. And the next thing I would say, and I don't even know what number I'm on, but the growth process. Some women opt to wear weaves, wigs, braids until their natural hair grows to the length that they desire or that they are comfortable with. Sometimes you might experiment with something, it makes your hair fall out, or you might get a new haircut that you're not necessarily too fond of. And the next step is to cover that thing up until it gets to where you want it to be. I don't think that's self-hate. I think that's you hating your hairstyle or hating the predicament that your hair is currently in. And don't get me wrong, self-hate is actually a thing, but it has so many layers to it that it's something that has been passed down from previous generations due to texturism, again, where people feel like they couldn't wear certain looks because they wouldn't be accepted in certain spaces. There's some of the older generation that feel as though, as a black woman, you should wear your hair straight. And the straight hair looks more polished. But I don't think they realized that they were instilling in women that their hair in its natural state is not good enough. So it's a whole long line of stuff that it would take me all day. I will be probably recording for the next 24 hours if I broke that topic down. But that is not the number one reason why black women wear wigs and weaves. Like, we got to knock that off, because it's just simply not. That's not it. Black women just get a bad rep for everything that they do, period. So it's kind of one of those things where you have to really honestly just block out the noise. You know who you are as a person, as a woman, and do whatever makes you feel comfortable. And don't allow others to determine how you feel about yourself. Because one thing that I know from being around women and just studying what people do and how people act and just being a people watcher, a lot of times self-hate has absolutely nothing to do with your hair or your texture. It's more about the inner you, your personality, and how you feel as though you present to other people. People tend to hate themselves long before they get to their hair. Just in case y'all didn't know that. But it's like, gee willikers, I can't even get braids or get a weave in my hair so I can go to the gym and work out, like, and not have to sweat my hair out and press my hair out and damage it just because people feel as though I should wear my real hair. Like, it's a tough crowd. Maybe one day we'll get to a place where we don't just automatically assume the worst about a black woman and just ask her or talk to her about the subject instead of assuming, because everybody is not doing the same thing for the same reason. And you know what's even crazier? The fact that you can see women online having to separate their hair to show their scalp when they have hair that they assume black women cannot grow. So they are constantly harassed, and people are telling them that it's not their real hair simply because of what exactly? Black women have hair.